Hello my friends, it is your brother Hampton from Hybrid Calisthenics. Welcome to the do-it-yourself video for the isometric bar and chain device you see me use in some videos. This is a really cool device. It was used by Bruce Lee, some old-time strongmen. Lots of people use similar devices. I believe it was big in the 50s and 60s, but I believe ours is an upgrade in some ways. I'm really excited to show it to you, so let's go. This isn't really a video where I discuss the benefits of this device, but just to give you a brief overview, it provides a piece of vertical resistance. So anything you can do with a standing barbell exercise, you can do with this device. So think bicep curls, deadlifts, front squats, shoulder presses, things like that. I can make a separate video of just exercises. Okay, so it's really not very complicated. In fact, it's mostly assembly. You can get all of this at a hardware store like Lowe's, Home Depot, whatever. I will leave a list of the items you need in the description, but really there's a lot of stuff you can swap out, so let's get started. Okay, so first we start with the base. I just have a 2 foot by 1 foot piece of wood. I drilled a 1/2 inch hole right in the middle. I didn't do it during this video because I used a drill press so I could get a more even drill, but really you can use just an electric drill like this, whatever works. The rest of it I will assemble here. So these are 11 inches piece of wood cut from the same plank. If you don't have something to cut wood with, you can go to Lowe's or Home Depot. They can cut the wood for you. It works because 11 inches is the smallest cut they can make, and it leaves just enough room for the eye bolt to go through. You'll see what I mean. This is how it would look upside down. This is not precise manufacturing at all, but I am going to measure it. I'm going to drill screws about 2 inches from the edge. I will have 5 of them. 4 in each corner and 1 in the center. You can drill pilot holes if you want, but with these screws it says you don't need to do that, so. But it turns out I spent $2 on these drill bits, but the screws came with one, so live and learn. I don't know if there's like carpentry technique that I'm violating. I am sweating though. Alright, that's how it looks on this side. Now we do the other side. We drill. We drill. Alright, there we go. So Jesus was a carpenter, you think he'd be disappointed in me? I better hurry up because I have to pick up my girlfriend after this. But thankfully, the rest of it is pretty darn simple. I just have an eye bolt, a 1/2 inch by 6 inch. I'm not going to use this nut. I'm going to use 2 flanged nuts just in case. And I'm going to have 2 large washers. All these are 1/2 inch. And I will also put on 2 Loctite washers just to keep it from moving. We're just going to stick in the eye bolt. First, it'll be the Flanged Washer. Leave about that much room. Next, it'll be the Loctite washer. And then just the large 1/2 inch washer. The material doesn't really matter. I got zinc. Last time I used brass. Stick it in like that. You see, we're leaving about 1/2 inch down here. On the bottom, we put in the large 1/2 inch washer first, then the Loctite, and then the flanged nut. Screw it in with your hand. Okay, we wanted to lock tight, so we're going to use a wrench. So this isn't the exact tool, but it'll work. If you have something better, you should use that. Somewhere there's an alternate universe where I do hybrid carpentry and I'm laughing at this universe itself. Does that make sense? Alright, we're good. That really shouldn't move too much. The rest of it is really just assembly. I'm telling you, this is very simple. So this is a porch swing. Here's the bag that it came in. This is the heaviest duty spring that I could find. It's about 300 pounds, as it says here. If anybody knows of a stronger spring, I do need something beyond 300 pounds. Ideally up to 1,000 pounds. If those sound like numbers that you can't lift, I would still get a heavy duty porch swing like this, because with isometrics, first of all, you advance very quickly, and also you are reaching maximum exertion, so it's likely a lot higher than what you can lift, even if you're a small person. So we're just going to attach it to the eye bolt with one of these. The spring is very important because when we pull up, it will pull back, and this will simulate a live load, and this will allow us to pull harder than if nothing was pulling back. When you're buying this, make sure it can kind of fit your eye bolt, because some of them won't. Some of them are just too big. Next, we're going to put on an interlocking spring snap. If it's this kind of shape, it seems to be able to hold heavier loads. This one's up to 800 pounds than if it's just a round one. I'm not sure why. I'm sure it's because of physics, but everything is because of physics. And this is how we adjust the chain. Speaking of which, here's the chain. This will hold up to 1,300 pounds, I believe. That's a lot more than what the average person can do, even on isometrics. You should keep the spring snap down here and not by the handle. It makes it a little bit easier to handle. Pun not intended. So I put it on about halfway. You'll see how it works. Okay, so this is actually a handle I had a friend weld for me. I took a steel pipe, cold rolled steel, not galvanized because that's hard to weld apparently, and an iron rod. And he bent it and he welded it on and he painted it red. It's nice and fancy. It's a lot fancier than what I have, which is how you can do it. If you have welding skill, of course you can make something like this, or you can probably find, if you really want something real nice looking like this, you can probably hire a welder. Honestly, if you lack any do-it-yourself potential, skill, you could probably show a friend that is pretty handy this video and they can assemble it for you. Like I said, it's very, very simple. So this is what my handle looks like. As you can see, it's still just assembly. I still have a flanged nut on both sides. It's the same way I put in the eye bolt here. I have an eye bolt going through a hole that I drilled through the steel pipe. It doesn't need to be black steel. That was just the one they had. This can still hold a lot of weight. So as you can see, I had the flanged nut, the Loctite washer, the larger washer, and it's all going through an eye bolt, and I have it reversed on the other end. And I have a quick link here, the same thing I put on the bottom. If you don't want to drill anything in metal, if it just sounds like a chore, you can get one of these. It's just a perforated steel tube. You can get this at any hardware store, I imagine. You can screenshot this and show it to one of the employees, and I'm sure they have something like it. And you just drop an eye bolt through it like this. You might have to screw it in. You may need some assistance to get the final few inches. Or you know what? We can improvise. So it'll be like this. Ooh, this is kind of hot. And I don't have a flanged nut this size. This is just a 3/8 of an inch diameter. But you can do the same thing with the flanged nut, the Loctite washer, and the large washer on both sides like we've done before. There you go. I didn't quite get it all the way, but this is just another way you can do a quick handle. The handle just needs to support several hundred pounds, and you need to feel comfortable holding it. So a lot of things can work. Whatever handle you choose, just link a quick link through it like this. Bam. This one goes up to 1,800 pounds, I think, if you're curious. Way beyond what we need, but I wish I could transfer some of that to our spring. There we have it. Isn't it beautiful? This is my new child. Alright, here's the device. If you're wondering why I'm barefoot, it's because, well, I'm usually barefoot. But also, like I said, I'm making this for a friend. I don't want to get it dirty. I want to give it to him nice and shiny. But if you're training, I would wear some shoes, yes. So as you can see, the chain is fully adjustable, up to 6 foot. You don't really need longer than a 6-foot chain. Scratch that, you may need a 7-foot chain for some of the exercises. I know some of you are very tall. For this height, we would do kind of a shoulder press like this. And if you want to adjust it, see where the spring goes. For me, it's right below my knee. So I would adjust to a height I want. This one's right below my knee. And I would attach attach the carabiner to it. I'm calling it a carabiner, but it's like an interlocking snap spring. There we have it. You do that. The person that made this bar, the person that welded this handle said he can bend these bars into ergonomic shapes, so we have a 45-degree hold right here. That'll be a future version of this device. But for now, there you have it. Enjoy, I hope it makes sense. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to make other videos about this, either exercises you can do, easier ways to build it. Thank you everyone for your questions and support. This is your brother Hampton from Hybrid Calisthenics. Talk soon.